Hi dudettes and dudles. Hi dudes, dudettes and dudles. I have never actually tried to say this out loud. That'll have to do. Basically, I wanted to make a video about what sign language school is all about and how it's been so far. I'm in the middle of my 3rd week right now, and it's been overwhelming and exciting and chaotic and amazing. Have I already said amazing? Oh well, it's twice as amazing as it is anything else, so it will work. Anyways, I didn't have something specific I wanted to talk about as such. I just wanted to give an update on my life and what this whole thing even is. I started at the 4th of September, and the first week was half of the day was actual sign language studies and what it means to be a signer and to work with that profession, and the other half of the day we were together with the 2nd year students, and seeing them actually legitimately talk with each other in sign language was extremely fun, because it was like, that's us in a year. They had conversations in sign language. That was amazing. And it's just an incredible feeling to know that in a year we'll be able to do that. And I remember that first week I was like, there's no way we can learn that much that quickly. I was wrong! We have learned so much already. It's mind-blowing how much I know already. We haven't really started learning about the actual grammar yet, but we are learning a lot of words. This week is about family and geography, so it's like where you are in your apartment, in your house, the different cities and their sign names, like Copenhagen, for example, in Danish is... I think it's because this is a royalty, and Copenhagen is where the queen lives, so Copenhagen. And then there's a bunch of other cities and some that are really, really funny. I don't know how much this is gonna make sense to other countries outside of Scandinavia, but A.K.A, if you know that store, the sign name in Danish is IKEA, but this is also the sign for missing, as in you're missing something. And the reason this is the sign name for IKEA is because when you buy an IKEA furniture, it's not unlikely that there's something missing in there, like a screw or whatever, and that's why missing has become IKEA's sign name. And that's really, really funny to think about. So far, I have a lot of really great friends in my class. Like, there's a lot of girls I've started talking to. There's a few boys I'm talking to as well, but when we first started 2 weeks ago, we were 42 people. And now at the 3rd week, we are 39, because 3 people have already dropped it. I'm not sure why any of them really dropped out, but we were told during the first week that statistically half of the class, meaning half of 40 people, meaning 20 people, would drop out within the first year by the 2nd semester. And I knew a lot of people dropped out of this education because a lot of people go into this education thinking it's going to be really, really easy. And then they realize, oh my god, this isn't easy at all. This is not what I wanted. And then they drop out. And I don't know if that was the case with these particular 3 people. But, I mean, they gave up within 2 weeks, so maybe. I just know that I'm not gonna drop out. I am so in love with everything here. For the moment, we have 3 legitimate teachers. Legitimate teachers as in, well, they're deaf. And that's kind of the fun part in some weird way, because some people who came there already knew that our teachers were gonna be deaf. And then there were those who thought they weren't gonna be deaf, and it was really, really fun to see how many people who actually knew beforehand. I was one of them, because I had gone to visit the place. I don't know what it's called in English, but you know, that kind of day where the school is open for the public and where they can go and talk to different students and teachers. I had gone twice within the last 2 years, so I had met one of my teachers actually, Louise, Louise, that's a sign name. I asked on Tumblr if anyone had any specific questions about, well, the place or my plans or whatever, and unfortunately I didn't really want to wait too long with making this video, so people didn't get a lot of time to actually send in questions, so I only got two, and one of them was, why is sign language not universal? And that is something that a lot of people in my class was shocked about as well. I knew that beforehand. I don't know why I knew that. I think I don't know. That question was asked one of the first days, like, why is sign language not universal? And a very good answer to that was, and I quote one of my teachers here, well, wouldn't it also be very clever if everyone spoke the same language? And we were all sitting there like, well, yeah. And then she continues and says that sign language is as old as the first deaf person. So all the different areas, all the different countries develop their own sign language. And it's also based on the spoken language. Like there are certain Danish signs that will only make sense to a Danish person because of our spoken language. While it's not gonna make sense in American Sign Language. Like there's a lot of Danish signs that make a lot of sense, and not just because of what this sign means word-wise, but also because it makes sense with the word itself. So yeah, that's the reason why sign language isn't universal. It's the same with spoken language. It depends on the country, it depends on the area. Another question was, what is your favorite sign so far? Like, what sign is my favorite one to do? And that one is really hard because I kind of like IKEA because it's rude. It's ironic that I was asked what my favorite sign is today, because today we'll learn how to say ghost. And ghost in Danish sign language at least is ghost. I think that's amazing because when I came home and asked my mom, what do you think the Danish sign is for ghost? She immediately went like this, and I was like, yeah, that's it. That's amazing, and that's an example of how sign language makes perfect sense a lot of the time, because there's a lot of signs we just know already, but we are not aware that they are, well, legit sign language. So yeah, I'll leave with this and go back to my sign language homework. See ya! By the way, I forgot to tell you my sign name. It's Moon.